Hey now, everybody. My name's Brian McKenna, and this is Talking Howie. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'm going to dive right in because this is a topic that I've been waiting to talk about. The girl that everybody loves to hate, the person that all old school Howard Stern fans are blaming for the new PC Howard, Marci Turk. She is currently the chief operating officer of the Howard Stern channels. She's basically in the same position Tim Sabean had. She's like a general manager for the Howard Stern channels 101 and 100. She came in, it was right after Robin announced that she had cancer, which I think was around 2013. And the crazy part about Howard hiring this woman, Marci Turk, is that prior to working on the Howard Stern channels, she had zero, and I mean zero, radio experience. She was some kind of a contributor to an author. He authored a book called Getting Things Done, which Howard touts as some type of Bible, basically a way to be more efficient. It kind of teaches you how to organize your life professionally and personally, something that obviously Howard needed desperately. But nonetheless, he brings her into the organization. He has her running the show essentially. And most people believe that Marci Turk is the reason that Howard Stern is PC now. I 100% disagree with that. I think that's total bullshit, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, Marci Turk is young. I mean, she's a young woman, basically. I think she's in her mid to late 30s. Again, with zero radio experience, but something she does have is management experience. And I think what was happening was the show was a bit out of control. Benji was always late. The guys in the back were constantly thinking up ways to make money off of Howard's name, like the Ronnie Munn Block Party or Richard and Sal trying to make a CD of their greatest phony phone calls. It's just there was no structure to the show, and Howard hates that because he's such a a person that likes to be on a schedule and do the same things. He's so habitual in that way, and so he wanted to bring in a person that could rein in all of that craziness so that he could focus and continue evolving, which I think is part of the reason he's become more PC, but evolving into the person that can do interviews with A-list celebrities, and they're not scared to go in the studio like they used to be back in the 90s or 2000s. So what I'm getting at is this is not Marci Turk's fault. She's getting all the blame. She's like, the new kid that comes into school and nobody likes him for whatever reason. Marci Turk is not the reason Howard Stern has become PC. The reason Howard Stern has become more politically correct is because that's what Howard wants to do. He put on this facade for years. We're like, oh, I'm the rebel. I don't give a shit about Hollywood. They can go fuck themselves, which I truly think he believed for a long time. But there's always been this part of him that's wanted to be in that club. He as much as he, would rebel against these celebrities, it always seemed like the ones that he thought he had a chance with, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he would always speak nicely about because he knew he came on the show and that was his A-list buddy. And then, Jimmy Kimmel comes in the picture and he's a big A-list guy with all these A-list friends, obviously, being the host of a talk show. And Howard started to feel accepted in Hollywood. He started to be, he wasn't such a monster like he used to be. And I think that he liked that feeling enough that he decided he wanted to change his show around and do those interviews, leave that legacy of, oh my God, Howard was the greatest interviewer of all time, which I think is absolutely true. He has the greatest interviews and he gets information out of people, celebrities that you don't hear anywhere else because of the format and how he makes them so comfortable. But nonetheless, Howard loves doing these A-list interviews. He doesn't want to be known as the guy that's picking on retarded people, the change in name from Gary the Retard to Gary the Conqueror, and Wendy the Retard to Wendy the Slow Adult. He doesn't want to be that guy anymore. And I would even venture to say that a big part of that is Beth. I think that in his first marriage to Allison, he was building his career. He kind of had this mentality where he's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm putting everything out on the line so that I can be successful. Well, he did that. He's wildly successful, arguably the greatest radio personality of all time. And now that he's gotten to this place, he wants to enjoy. He doesn't want to have that fight anymore. He doesn't really have that fight in him anymore. He'd rather go in and do an interview with, George Clooney and do a great job and come out, get home, read the articles online the next day saying, oh my God, Howard Stern did an incredible interview with George Clooney. He's the best interviewer of all time. He wants that. He's an egomaniac, and that's why we love him, because he's just doing exactly what he wants to do, and he always has. The show has always been about, I don't care about what the fans want. I don't care about what Robin wants, what the general manager wants. I'm doing the show I want to do. And that's why I get so pissed off when people say, oh, Howard's gone PC. Howard's not, a rebel like he used to be. So what? I mean, think about it. He's a 65-year-old guy now. He's an older guy. If he was still, bringing strippers into the studio, 18, 19-year-old strippers, getting chicks on Sybians, having them take their tops off, don't you think it'd be a little creepy at this point? I mean, in all honesty, we had those times in the show, and they were great. And by the way, some of my favorite moments on the show are those raunchy moments. But there's no doubt that the Howard Stern Show has continued to evolve from, I'm going to go back all the way to let's say DC 101. He was doing a totally different show than he did at WNBC, a totally different show that he did at K-Rock, a totally different show than he's doing in his early years of Sirius. This new Howard is just another evolution in the show. So the way I look at it as a super fan myself, and I don't love that term, but I am. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of the show. I'm trying to enjoy this moment in time of the Howard Stern Show. And you know what I do to kind of fill that need of wanting to see Howard rip into people and scream and yell? I go watch the old shows on YouTube. I can get that fill, and I don't mind rewatching some of them because they're really good and they're worth watching a couple times over. So basically, this is not Marci Turk's doing. She is essentially a general manager. I believe that she's an advisor to Howard, but he even said on the air one time, he brought up this issue of Marci Turk, and he said, I don't go to her for creative stuff with the show. He said, I don't even go to Don Buchwald with that. He said, I figure out what I want to do on the show, and that's what's on the show. So, do I believe that Marci Turk is good for the Howard Stern Show? I don't know. Part of me loved that chaos, the fact that Ronnie would do the block party and Howard fucking hated it because it added more drama to the show and it added, comedy. In the same way, I want Howard to work as long as he possibly can, as long as he wants to. And so if this is what needs to happen for Howard to continue doing the show, do another 5 years or just another couple years, then I love it. Anything that keeps him on the air and keeps him doing the show, I'm 100% for. So that was a lot. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you know the next time I'm going to be uploading a video. Also, I'm going to be going live here tomorrow night. I'm doing a live broadcast. I'm not sure exactly what time, but look out for it. I'm also going to try to get your phone calls in, and eventually I'd like to grow this where I could have a couple people join me via Zoom on the show so we can have a conversation about the greatest radio personality of all time. I'm talking about Howard Stern. Again, this has been Talkin' Howie. My name's Brian McKenna, and I will catch you next time.